Good morning, passport holders. Today, September 21st, 2016, day 681 of the vlogs. And even despite taking a sleeping pill last night, I didn't go to bed until just shy of midnight, fell asleep, woke up 2 hours later, wide awake, ready to go. And so, yeah, really kind of fought with that. Ended up eventually falling back asleep around 2:45, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then slept until 9 a.m., which was my initial kind of wake-up time. I wanted to try and give myself a little extra hour long, or an extra hour of sleep in order to see if that's going to make a difference. That stated, I've woke up pretty groggy as a result. The day has started off, though, and it's been okay. Ran payroll for myself, paid off a couple of bills that needed to be paid, and everything else is kind of just running as it should. So I'm pretty pumped about that, and popped on Destiny for about 25-30 minutes while I was watching Clintus's stream as well. Handled a couple of Crucible bounties, things like that I just needed to get done for the day. Right now I'm about halfway through a caption review for a client, so I'm pretty excited about being done with that stuff. That stated, I didn't feel bad about taking a little extra time this morning for Destiny because I have a sneaking suspicion that Daily V70 is going to drop sometime today or tomorrow. And I'm actually kind of hoping it'll drop today so that way I can handle it tonight, and then go on and do the football game tomorrow uninterrupted. That would be ideal, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna jump back on the laptop and yeah, do the work since it needs to get done. Currently just after 2:30, and where I stand right now with everything is basically all the morning work got done, so I'm pumped about that. Lunch got done. I've had Clintus on in the background while I've been trying to do the download on Mac OS X Sierra. For whatever reason, it was taking forever initially. Now it's starting to finally download at like full speed. So I'm going to do that, do the install on that, and then pack up and go to either the hotel or the airport to work for a few hours because I've still got this sales funnel stuff that needs to get done. I still have a ton of other little things that I would like to get done and start to get processed on before I do the big release on the gosh, I'm totally losing my mind. On the special project that I've been working on. It's not anywhere near done yet, but if I really put my head to it, it's probably about 20 to 30 hours worth of work that remains. And so once that's done, then I can continue to move forward with all of these things. But I don't feel like it's really a good idea for me to give this big release, which could be something that could get a lot of attention, and not have the stuff in order to capture leads in place and things like that. So wanted to try and figure that stuff out. So yeah, it's off to the races after this install is done, but it looks like I've got about 10 minutes until the download finishes up. Well, a couple more hours have passed. The install for Mac OS Sierra did not go through because the download wouldn't finish, despite everything that I tried to do in order to kick it, push it, get it to fully download. It was still showing, it was about 2/3 of the way done, and it was still showing about 6.5 hours on the download itself. So I don't know what that's about, but it is what it is. In order to get me out of the house just for a little bit, I'm going to the airport for a couple of hours in order to work. My major objectives while I'm there are to handle any new shorties that get sent over, because there was one that was sent over earlier. I don't think that there's going to be any more, but there could be. Hopefully I'll get Clintus's captions back so I can do final review on those, do the vlog edit on my end, and then my buddy Matt, he sat there and he released a huge like magnum opus of sales funnel strategies and like step-by-step like how that all is supposed to work, and he runs a company that does nothing but builds these things. So I'm going to take some time to read that, and hopefully I'll have a little bit of time left over so I can do some work on mine, so that I can start to really get it fully mapped out, so I can start to say, okay, hey, I'm going to do one piece of this a day for the next few days, and you know, make that my minimum, with the ideal being like I do 2 or 3. So that's kind of the plan, but still have to get over to the restaurant that I park at when I go there to the airport. Well, a good work session here at the airport. Didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but that's because the download of Mac OS Sierra did complete, I did the install. So I'm pumped about that. I have a plan of attack on how to catch up later tonight. So I'm pretty pumped with how everything's all going. Clintus's captions are done. Board's completely clear, so I'm pumped about that. And yeah, I just need to finally start putting my hands on that keyboard and creating this sales funnel. Well, it's currently 11 p.m. And I've been doing a lot of structural thinking and trying of new platforms and new tools in order to make things a heck of a lot more efficient. So basically, what had happened previously when I was doing cold email prospecting, when I was just like emailing YouTubers, was I was just like sending them a nice little email saying like, "Hey, this is what I do, and I'm trying to help channels out, and would you want my help?" And I got like a 12% response rate, which in the email marketing world is really good, but that stated I was targeting people who were softer targets. I guess the easiest way for me to describe that was they were friends of clients of mine or friends of clients of mine. And so like to be able to sit there and kind of leverage that and just send those emails and just say, hey, or hey, somebody who like I had already been subscribed to their email list for a while, sat there and sent them an email like, hey, you should really consider doing this. And so that's how I went from 3 clients to 13 clients, with that last one being Gary, which was kind of a weird situation that took over a year in order to actually result in that. And it took like 7 different contact points, some of which on social media, etc. So I'm thinking that that's going to be one of the big things that I want to do. I mean, Facebook marketing is going to be a big piece, and Amelia's in town for like the next 8 days, so I think we're going to try and get together and like work through that portion of the sales funnel with her. But there's part of me that really wants to do this the right way, and a couple of tools have come to my attention, one of which I already owned, which was interesting, that will allow me to not automate, but make the process much more transparent. Through a couple of tools that I have, I can start to begin to use something like a Google Sheets, much more like a Salesforce or something that's 2 steps closer in that direction. I should be honest in that. So, some of these tools being responsive, to one thing and then another and creating task lists that I'm then accountable for on a daily basis in order to sit there and keep me accountable, because that's been a huge failing point. When I'm my most successful in my professional career, it's when I've had both automated systems in order to tell me what to do, and then me holding myself accountable to someone else to actually have done them, which is a weird thing for an entrepreneur, but it is something that I'm stumbling with right now. So I'm pretty excited about where things are going, and like to be able to integrate multiple data sources. So like if a client does open an email, it will be reflected inside of the Google Sheet. If a client does open a document that I send over, which will just be a link, that will get updated in the Google Sheet. So like things like that have all started to get very interesting, and then like having things that when I need to send an email reminder if I don't get a response, that will come into my inbox and I can just send a nice little note. And then there's the ultimate twist in all of this, which is what I've been playing the most with, which is leveraging Text Expander, a tool that I've been using for other things relating to just captioning, like just oh hey, let me just off-screen speaker identification, that kind of stuff. I built a bunch of quick shortcuts that I can just type in really fast and get off-screen speaker identification for a lot of my clients now, as I'm doing QA and things like that. And so the easiest thing for me to do is to actually leverage this formatting thing that it does, which effectively is like canned answers, but once I'm done with one fill-in box, it automatically takes the cursor to the next one, and it's just this really impressive workflow. But I can begin to do that while speeding up my process, because ideally I want to start to send at least 10 of these a day, ideally 15 to 20, and just start cranking. So that stated, it is 11 o'clock. I'm going to try and force myself to go lay down. There's no chance I'm going to go to sleep this early, but I will start to wind down just so that I can get into a regular sleeping pattern, because with me staying up till 3 or 4 or 8 a.m., that's not sustainable long term for me. So I'd much rather try and start to do the things that I need to in order to hopefully keep me healthy. So I will say thank you guys for your time and your attention. As always, I appreciate them both. And remember, you never stumble upon opportunity by standing still. So go do cool stuff. Bye for now.